Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
Imagine walking down your town's main street on a Friday evening. You're completely starving.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Right. And up ahead, you spot this local pizzeria. The neon sign in the window is buzzing. You can literally smell the garlic and bacon crust from the sidewalk. And there is a crowd of people outside just staring intently through the glass.
I mean, that sounds like a phenomenal local spot. It's the kind of foot traffic most business owners dream of. You know?
You would completely think so.
No.
But so, you walk up to join the crowd, you grab the brass handle, and the door is completely locked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You look around for a menu taped to the glass, nothing. There's no sign listing their hours. And the phone number painted on the window is in, font size 4, barely readable in the dark.
So basically all that marketing, all that incredible sensory appeal, it's generating massive foot traffic, but absolute zero revenue.
Exactly.
They've built this huge audience of hungry people and given them, no actual way to buy the pizza.
Right, and it sounds utterly ridiculous in the physical world, right? I mean, a business would go bankrupt in a week doing that. But it turns out this is the exact playbook millions of local businesses are running on the internet every single day.
It really is.
Today, our mission on this deep dive is to solve a very specific, honestly very frustrating digital mystery. Why local businesses can attract hundreds or thousands of website visitors, yet their phones stay completely silent.
Yeah, that disconnect between digital traffic and actual revenue is, well, it's probably the single most expensive leak in the modern local economy, and business owners are often completely blind to it.
They really are. To figure out how to fix this, I was looking through some incredibly revealing strategic notes on conversion gaps, along with this rather eye-opening new guide. It essentially diagnoses the real reasons customers abandon local websites without ever calling.
It's a fascinating read.
It totally is. And whether you, the listener, run a brick-and-mortar business or work in digital marketing, or honestly, if you are simply someone who has rage quit a clunky website while just trying to book a haircut,
We've all been there.
We really have. This deep dive is going to fundamentally change how you look at website design.
Because, we are not talking about aesthetics here. A pretty website doesn't pay the rent. We are talking about human behavior, behavioral psychology, and the actual mechanics of friction.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the ultimate solution isn't some complex $10,000 tech upgrade or a massive 6-month site overhaul.
No, not at all.
It's about fixing basic human friction points. But before we even look at what's broken on these homepages, the data suggests we have to tear down a massive, rather toxic industry myth that keeps businesses accepting failure in the first place.
Oh, the timeline myth.
Yeah.
If you talk to most traditional marketers or web design agencies, they will literally look a local business owner in the eye and tell them that local SEO and lead generation naturally takes 6 to 12 months.
Which is wild.
It is. They preach patience. They say, keep paying your monthly retainer. Trust the process. The algorithm just takes time.
And the sources are pretty aggressive on this point. They argue that timeline is basically just a cover story.
Worse than a cover story, honestly. It's a retention tactic designed to just, milk retainers.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here. While a massive national e-commerce brand trying to outrank Amazon might genuinely need a year to see traction, local search is a completely different mechanism.
Right.
The data we are looking at proves that local businesses can, and absolutely should, start capturing real, measurable, paying leads in 30 to 90 days. The year-long waiting game is largely fiction.
Let's ground that claim with the specific case study from the sources because the numbers here are wild.
Yeah, pizzeria.
Exactly, this local pizzeria owner who decided to finally look under the hood of his digital marketing. He pulls up Google Analytics and sees a baseline of 1,100 website visitors a month. On the surface, if I own a pizza joint, I'm thinking, great, over 1,000 people are looking at my site.
Right. It looks like a win. Vanity metrics often do. But the real danger of focusing on raw traffic is that a digital visit is not a lead. It's literally just a number on a screen.
Exactly, because he dug deeper and found he had 0 tracked conversions. Like, he couldn't verify if a single one of those 1,100 people ever picked up the phone, placed an online order, or actually walked through the physical doors of his shop.
Wow.
It was just ghost traffic.
Which is where that 90-day reality completely shatters the wait-a-year myth. Because the owner didn't rewrite his entire website's code. He didn't spend thousands.
Right.
He just applied a few specific behavioral tweaks, which we will get into shortly, and the metrics completely flipped.
Yeah.
Traffic jumped to over 4,300 visitors a month, sure. But more importantly, the site started logging 9 to 11 chatbot conversations every single week.
Wait, real human interactions.
Precisely. Real people asking about catering orders or checking on gluten-free crust options, getting immediate answers, and then calling to place massive orders.
That's incredible.
Customers were actually walking in saying, I was just on your website, got my question answered, and I'm ready to buy. The entire transformation from a dead website to a lead generation machine happened in just 3 months.
I mean, having 1,000 website visitors without a frictionless way to convert them is literally that crowd staring through the window while the front door is deadbolted.
Exactly.
If they can't get in easily, the size of the crowd is completely irrelevant. So if traffic isn't the actual problem, what exactly constitutes this locked door? The sources point to 3 massive conversion killers.
The friction points.
Yeah. Let's look at the first one, which honestly sounds so basic I couldn't believe it's an epidemic. Mistake number 1, businesses actively hiding their phone numbers.
Oh, it defies all logic. You build a local service business that literally relies on the phone ringing, and then you force the customer to play a digital game of hide and seek to find your contact info.
I actually experienced this last week. I was trying to book a plumber from my phone. I tapped their link, and the phone number wasn't at the top. I had to scroll through 3 paragraphs about the founder's grandfather starting the company in 1972, then open a drop-down menu that wouldn't even load properly, and I just gave up. I hit the back button and called their competitor in under 10 seconds.
What's fascinating here is the underlying psychology of that exact moment. You experienced an overload of what behavioral economists call cognitive load.
Cognitive load, okay.
Yeah. In the digital world, customer patience operates near absolute zero. The text sets up a brilliant high-stakes scenario to illustrate this. Imagine a homeowner in the middle of a brutal summer heat wave, and their air conditioner suddenly dies.
Oh, they are sweating, angry, and definitely not in the mood to read about a company's rich history.
Exactly. They are in pure panic-buying mode. They are frantically searching on a tiny mobile screen. If they click a website and cannot locate a massive, highly visible phone number within, 2 seconds, their brain registers the effort as just too difficult. They bounce.
They just leave.
Right. The solution is non-negotiable. The phone number must be the most prominent element at the very top of every single page. And crucially, because most traffic is mobile, it must be tapped to call.
That makes total sense.
If you ask a frustrated, sweating homeowner to memorize a 10-digit number, close their browser, open their keypad, and type it out manually, you have already lost their money.
The friction is just way too high. Okay, let's say the phone number's fixed. But what about the user who can't call right now? Maybe they're at work or it's late at night and they just want to request a quote online.
Right, they need a form.
Yeah, they go looking for a button. And this is where businesses throw up the second massive roadblock: tiny, invisible contact buttons.
This usually happens because designers prioritize aesthetics over functionality. They'll tuck a tiny, elegant submit button into the top right corner or hide it behind one of those minimalist hamburger menu icons.
And those are the worst.
But we have to look at how human eyes actually process digital information. We don't read websites like a paperback novel. We scan them in what's known as an F pattern.
Meaning the eye starts at the top left, scans across to the right, and then drops down the left margin right.
Exactly. A visitor is looking for immediate visual validation that they can solve their problem right here. They read the main, bold headline, scan the first sentence below it, and if they don't see a clear next step directly in their line of sight, they freeze.
They aren't going on a treasure hunt into the weird corners of your layout, so your primary call to action, your CTA button, needs to sit right below that main headline, completely unmissable.
And the actual words on the button matter immensely, according to the sources.
Oh, right. Language is a massive friction point. Using generic words like submit or learn more creates anxiety because the user doesn't actually know what happens next.
Submit sounds like I'm filing legal paperwork.
Or
Or handing over my data to some spam list.
Exactly. The button needs to offer a specific low-risk outcome, like call now for same-day service or get your free quote in 60 seconds. Tell the brain exactly what reward it gets for clicking.
Give them certainty.
Yeah. Okay, so we've fixed the giant phone number and we have a bold, specific button. But mistake number 3 is much more nuanced, and it's where even quote-unquote good websites fail. It's the psychological trap of treating all your visitors exactly the same.
This is a huge one.
The research divides website traffic into 2 completely distinct personas, the Ready Now visitor and the researcher.
And a failure to balance those 2 distinct mindsets will completely gut your conversion rate.
So the Ready Now visitor is like me wanting a pizza on a Friday night or your guy with the broken AC. I know my problem. I know I want to spend money right now. I just need a fast menu or a giant phone number. I don't need convincing.
Right.
But the researcher is entirely different.
The researcher is typically navigating a high-ticket purchase. Let's look at someone buying a complete new HVAC system or hiring a kitchen remodeler. We are talking about $5,000, maybe $10,000.
That's a big commitment.
Exactly. They are absolutely not going to tap the first neon buy now button they see. That feels incredibly pressured to them. They need to mitigate risk. They are actively seeking out customer reviews, detailed case studies, warranty information, and, low-pressure educational content to build trust before they ever consider reaching out.
And this is the ultimate design trap. How do you handle both without creating just a cluttered mess? If a home service website is just a giant landing page screaming, hire US now, the high-ticket researcher feels pressured, assumes you're a volume-based discount shop, and leaves. But if your site is basically a textbook of educational paragraphs with no clear contact buttons, you lose the Ready Now emergency buyer who just wants a fast appointment.
The mechanics of solving this actually dictate the layout of a modern high-converting homepage. The top section, what we call above the fold, the part you see before you ever scroll, is dedicated exclusively to the Ready Now visitor.
Oh, I see.
A clear headline, a massive phone number, and a bold button. But the moment a user begins to scroll down, the site shifts gears. The scrolling behavior indicates they are a researcher. So the sections below the fold should cleanly offer the trust-building elements. Video testimonials, before and after galleries, explanations of your process.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You catch the immediate buyer at the top, and you gently nurture the cautious buyer as they scroll.
That makes so much structural sense. And before we move on to the complete fix, the sources highlight a couple of other deal breakers that just destroy that hard-earned trust. The biggest offender, generic stock photography.
Ugh, we've all seen them. The overly enthusiastic models in pristine, perfectly clean hard hats pointing thoughtfully at an unrolled blueprint.
It's so fake. Consumers are incredibly digitally savvy now. If your local team looks like a corporate toothpaste commercial, the visitor instantly assumes you are an out-of-state lead generation company that's just going to sell their data to the highest bidder.
Local trust just vanishes.
Right. You need gritty, real proof. Cell phone pictures of your actual branded trucks, your messy storefront, your real employees standing next to local landmarks. Authenticity converts way better than polish.
And let's take that a step further into the actual point of contact, the contact form itself. Think about the friction of filling out a form on a smartphone keyboard.
Which is brutal.
Entering a full street address, using drop-down menus to select your exact budget, typing out a whole paragraph explaining your problem. Every single field you add to a contact form acts as a massive hurdle.
It really feels like filling out a mortgage application just to get a landscaping quote. And the sources are absolutely ruthless on this. Keep it to name, phone number, and email. Period. You can ask for their life story once you actually have them on the phone.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've identified the massive leaks in the bucket. How do we actually rebuild the system? The sources lay out a proactive 3-step growth framework to start generating leads in that 90-day window we talked about. And step 1 surprised me because it doesn't even take place on your website.
No, it doesn't. Step 1 is achieving dominance with your Google business profile. The GBP.
This is the ultimate shortcut to getting into the map pack, right? That coveted little box at the very top of Google search results that shows a map and 3 highly rated local businesses.
It's a 1.
But most owners just claim their profile once, maybe verify their address with a postcard, and then completely forget it exists.
Which is a fundamental misunderstanding of what Google actually is. Google's primary product is reliable information. If a user searches for a plumber, and Google sends them to a business that closed down 6 months ago, Google looks bad.
Makes sense.
The algorithm actively wants to protect its users from a bad experience. So how does it know a business is active and reliable?
Rigorous maintenance.
Exactly. You must be uploading fresh photos of real jobs from your smartphone every single week. A photo uploaded yesterday proves to the algorithm that you are currently operating. You have to respond to every single customer review, both the glowing 5-star ones and the angry 1-star ones, because it shows you are attentive.
Right.
And your hours must be obsessively updated, especially around holidays. When Google sees an owner actively maintaining this digital footprint, the algorithm heavily prioritizes them in the map pack.
It's basically a heartbeat monitor for your business. Just show Google you have a pulse. Now, step 2 is strategic content. And here's where it gets really interesting, because the sources return to our pizzeria case study to explain this. And honestly, their content strategy sounds like corporate suicide at first glance.
It really does.
Instead of posting boring updates about new chairs in the dining room or generic photos of cheese, they started publishing their exact recipes, like deep, step-by-step guides teaching people how to make their premium menu items entirely from scratch at home.
It is one of the most brilliant psychological plays in local marketing.
But let me push back on this, because I know exactly what a business owner is thinking. Why on earth would a restaurant spend time and money teaching people how not to need them? Aren't you just handing your intellectual property to your customers and your competitors?
It definitely seems counterintuitive, until we connect this to the bigger picture of authority. When you willingly give away the secrets to your success, you send a massive subconscious signal to the market. A consumer looks at that recipe and thinks, wow, if they are confident enough to publicly share exactly how they make their signature dish, they must be the absolute masters of their craft.
Oh, wow.
It is the ultimate authority flex.
So it builds immediate trust, but does it actually build revenue?
The behavioral reality of it is amazing. People love the recipes, so they shared the links all over social media. That drove a tidal wave of organic local traffic back to the website. But here is the kicker regarding human nature. A person might enthusiastically read a complex recipe for an artisanal pizza on a Tuesday.
Right.
But when Friday night rolls around, they are tired from work. They realize that making dough from scratch requires proofing yeast and making a mess of the kitchen. What do they actually do?
They just order the pizza from the experts who wrote the recipe. That is incredibly smart. You become the default authority in their mind. Okay, so step 1 is the Google Business Profile heartbeat. Step 2 is strategic content, utilizing the recipe paradox to build authority. Step 3 is implementing conversational tools.
Specifically, deploying a simple, strategically programmed chatbot.
Right, and the text emphasizes this shouldn't be a complex AI pretending to be a human, which usually just frustrates people anyway. It's a functional tool designed to handle low-level friction. In the pizzeria's case, the bot instantly answered questions about dietary restrictions or explained the protocol for ordering 20 pizzas for a kid's birthday party.
The brilliance of the chatbot is how it acts as a filter and passes the baton. It handles the repetitive, low-level inquiries that usually waste an employee's time on the phone.
Yeah.
But when a customer asks a high-intent, high-value question, like a homeowner asking, how much does a new water heater cost?
Yeah.
The bot is programmed to stop explaining and pivot. It says, that depends on a few factors with your home. Call us right now at this number for an exact free quote.
That's so smooth.
It smoothly transitions a curious, anonymous visitor directly into a warm, inbound phone lead.
So those 3 steps, the optimized profile, the authority content, the strategic chatbot that forms your 90-day growth engine, but, and there is a massive but here, the sources make it undeniably clear that you could implement that 3-step framework flawlessly and you are still flying completely blind if you ignore the final piece of the puzzle: tracking and mobile survival.
Because if you don't know the origin of your leads, you cannot possibly optimize your marketing budget. You have to stop operating on gut feeling.
Let's talk about tracking first, because honestly, opening Google Analytics is terrifying for most people. It looks like the Matrix. Endless rows of numbers and graphs. What are we actually looking for?
You can basically ignore 90% of the dashboard. The sources simplify it down to 3 critical metrics. First, traffic sources. You need to know if the people actually calling you are coming from a local Google search, a paid Facebook ad, or by directly typing in your website name.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, you must set up conversion point tracking. Analytics can tell you exactly how many people clicked that specific phone number button versus how many submitted the form.
You have to know which door they are walking through.
Exactly. And finally, the most important metric, identifying your bounce pages. A bounce is when someone lands on a page and immediately leaves without clicking anything. If analytics shows you that 80% of your visitors are leaving the exact moment they hit your Contact Us page, that data is screaming at you.
It tells you something's broken.
It tells you your form is either broken, too long, or intimidating. You've just pinpointed your leak.
And speaking of massive leaks, the text issues a stark, practically threatening warning about mobile optimization. I really want to emphasize this because it is a make-or-break ultimatum. Well over half of all local search traffic happens on a mobile device. If your site does not load on a smartphone in under 3 seconds, you are dead in the water.
3 seconds is the absolute threshold. Any longer, and cognitive friction takes over, and the customer hits the back button.
I want to challenge you, the listener, right now. Pull out your smartphone, turn off your Wi-Fi so you are relying purely on cellular data out in the wild, and pull up the website of your favorite local business or your own business if you run one. Look at the screen objectively.
Right.
Can you tap their phone number without having to scroll down? Do the buttons actually respond to a thumb tap? Is the text large enough to read without having to pinch and zoom around the screen? If the answer is no, that business is bleeding revenue every single hour.
This raises an incredibly important question, doesn't it? Why do local business owners spend thousands of hard-earned dollars on digital advertising or SEO services, driving targeted traffic to their site, only to send those mobile users to a website that was built exclusively to look beautiful on a 24-inch desktop monitor in an office?
It's like handing a hungry customer a highly detailed menu written in 2-point font and then asking them to read it through a keyhole. The cognitive effort required is just too high, and they will walk away. So what does this all mean? When we boil down all these strategic notes and behavioral studies, the ultimate takeaway is actually incredibly empowering. The businesses that truly win local search, the ones that dominate their market and have phones ringing off the hook, they are almost never the ones with the flashiest, most expensive, or most cutting-edge websites.
They simply do not need to be.
No. They are the businesses that make it easy. Easy to find the number, easy to trust their local authenticity, and easy to say yes without feeling pressured.
It all comes down to aggressively identifying and removing every single barrier between the customer's immediate problem and your proposed solution.
And that is the true value of this deep dive. It's a shortcut past the digital noise. Whether you are auditing your own local business to finally plug these expensive leaks, or you're just trying to understand the hidden digital mechanics behind the plumbers, roofers, and pizzerias you hire every day, you now possess the playbook. You know the exact mechanics to turn an invisible, frustrating digital storefront into a fully booked, thriving business in under 90 days.
I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. Our sources revealed today that the established local SEO takes 6 to 12 months rule is very often just a convenient fiction and excuse utilized by agencies to collect monthly retainers while delivering incredibly slow results.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other established industry norms in your own professional field, the things everyone just blindly accepts as truth, are actually these widely accepted excuses for inefficiency.
It really makes you question the rules of the game. So next time you're walking down that digital main street, don't let your customers just stare through the glass, hungry and frustrated. Put the massive phone number right on the door, make the sign unmissable, and for goodness sake, unlock the front door.
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.